Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SummerSlam episode of podcasting. I am your host, the Ayatollah of Hip Hop, the whole damn show, the Rated R podcaster, and one half of the podcast tag team champions of the world with my co-host this evening.
What's up? It's the mid-year. Is the show that I wait the whole time. I waited this for so long since we started this podcast. Let's do some rankings, and this is my favorite part. So, what's up, everyone?
And your
What's
name
up?
is Malenko, right?
Yes, they already know me. They already know.
And you're not AI, but we have a special
AI
guest.
anymore.
Malenko, we have a special guest. It's actually you who said that we needed to get this special guest on the podcast. Our special guest tonight, he's the man behind the machine. He's the producer, the editor, the metal drummer himself. He sits as the special counsel. He is the wise man, Karl from the Abyss Podcast. Karl, welcome.
Thank you. That's awesome.
The wise man, I had to. I had to call you the wise man. You always have those theories. You always have those topics. The way you touch on things. You are the wise man, my friend.
I appreciate that.
He's the Inspector Deck of the podcast.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I will take that 100%.
How you doing, man? You doing well?
I'm great. Really honored to be on. I'm a fan.
I appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship over the last year. Thank you for being part of this. Like I said, Malenko wanted you on this. He called you out himself. So now you're here. So let's get into it. Malenko, what are we doing tonight? What are we speaking about?
Man, we're gonna do the whole 6 months that we just passed by, because 2024 was crazy. 2024 was crazy. So let's start with the first 6 months. We're gonna give you albums. We're gonna give you producers. We're gonna tell you who to look out for on the next half of this year too. So I can't wait.
With that being said, the last couple of years in hip hop have been big. Okay. I find like I don't want to say a resurgence, but there's a lot more artists. There's a lot more of a platform for artists. And that they're able to put out music. We have the Bars Over BS that puts out the actual product. We have the Copenhagen Crates that puts out the product. There's a lot more going on that's able to get these artists out there. And I find that this year especially, there is so much music coming out to a point where it's like I can't keep up. I'm the type of dude that has Fridays off. And now I find that my Fridays are just filled with just too much music to listen to. Karl, thoughts on this year's music? There's so much coming out.
Well, I think what we're experiencing is really kind of benefited from artists working with each other. So we constantly talk about the rabbit hole. And when people are featured, when you have, Feed the Family guys, appearing on, Umbrella albums, or, Umbrella guys and Brown Bag Money people working together, or The Cloth, and you get all of these groups of people that are intermingling. And what you find is, if I'm a fan of Ty Ferris, well, then I'm going to find out about Mickey.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to find out about Pro and Snotty. And then I'm going to find out about Vega 7, the Ronin. And I'm going to find out all of these people, because there are these cross sections that everybody's finding. So in the last several years, we've had so much of that, and such a high level of output from rappers, that it's keeping people engaged. I know it can be overwhelming at times. It's hard to keep up and try to listen to everything that comes out. But the nice part is it's out there, and I'll get to it eventually.
How have you been consuming music?
Like schedule wise, or like the actual media?
So probably media, because you'll know a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the album comes out. But when the album comes out, is it something you wait to listen to? Are you listening to the album from the previous week? Like, what's your process from when an
So
album comes out?
so typically I try to listen to albums as quickly as I can. I don't stream often. If I do, I'll usually try to get it off of Paca the Plug because he's a huge supporter of the scene and I
Yeah.
like to feed his channel. I would much rather do that if I'm getting free music from an artist than, something like Spotify, which I don't pay for premium because I don't really believe in the platform and what it's doing to artists.
Mhm.
And so I can't listen to a whole album in succession anyway.
Mhm.
But if I go to Paca the Plug, at least I know he's got it up there. It's going to be sectioned off in songs and,
Yeah.
but most of the time I prefer to go to somebody's Bandcamp, download it in 320 MP3,
Mhm.
and then I can just listen to it I've got really nice Galaxy earbuds. So
Oh, good.
And the album, let's say this Friday an album comes out, is it something that you sit throughout the week? You'll give it 2 or 3 listens, one listen and on to the next. What's that process for you?
always two, at a minimum, always two. And that's just so that, I can give it a fair shake.
Mhm.
If I really don't like an album, I won't listen to it a second time for a few days. Give it
Okay.
some breathing room because maybe I approached it wrong. I was in the wrong headspace, whatever. Um, if I like it, I'll probably listen to it back to back. And do, at least two times. And then there again, if I really, really like it, then it goes into my rotation.
Yeah.
So I've just got a playlist set up, and if the album goes into the playlist, it's a banger.
Okay. And when you say playlist, you don't mean a bunch of songs. You mean playlist of albums, like meaning
Yes.
okay, good.
Playlist of albums. Yeah.
I
Yeah. I'm real big on, I would much rather listen to a cohesive album start to finish than just listen to random songs. I know Primo Jab loves just putting a bunch of stuff in and letting it just kind of randomly play through. And I get that, but for me, I like a story arc. I like being brought somewhere. And I get so used to listening to it in that format. When I hear a song by itself, I immediately have to stop. It's kind of like picking up a movie midway. You turn on TBS or something, and there's,
Mhm.
Groundhog Days halfway through, and you're like, well, I can't watch it from here. I've
Yeah.
got it on DVD. I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to go back. So
That's always rerunning that movie too.
yeah,
That's a great example.
Um, and the reason why I'm asking is because sometimes I find that we rush too much and say an album is a classic, say an album is the best album of the year, and we don't give it that breathing room to be able to sit with it for a week or two and then let it be, wait a couple of weeks, and then be able to go back and see how it's grown as a body of work.
absolutely. I don't generally like to declare things as classics anyway. Everything's a personal choice. For me, it's a keeper. There are albums that will stay, like Breakfast at Sue's from Mav. I don't think that's ever coming out of rotation for me,
Yeah.
ever.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's an incredible album, and it's one that, I can always go back to and listen to and get the same feeling every time I listen to it. So, there are albums like that, but to claim something as a classic, I think it's just kind of a weird thing to do. Collectively, if everybody feels like it's one of the greatest albums of all time, then sure, it's a classic.
Yeah, people are so fast on the trigger now. They just
Mhm.
hear it one time. They see when you get like one or two people calling it a masterpiece right away. They hop on the bandwagon, and that's it. It starts rolling, and everybody's calling it a masterpiece. That's something
Mhm.
that I noticed lately, that people are going. Or like, I hate that term goat. Everybody throws goat at everything now. Jesus, everything. Oh, he's the goat. He's the goat of this. Like, I think people rank it so like highly quickly now. It's like the attention span is crazy.
Yeah.
They've always been doing that though, since probably the 90s. But I find now you got to give 5 to 10 years. That's the window for me before saying something is really a classic or it's changed the culture or the sound.
I think
Like
that's fair.
Easily.
like that, like when you guys did the Rock Marciano episode, like
Mhm.
you could say like those albums are classic albums, like
Because they're
Marsberg,
still, yeah, incredible albums.
and you keep going back to it, and it's kind of changed the landscape of the sound of hip hop, right? He paved the way for the newer, quote unquote, newer artists to be able to be like, okay, I could really focus on this sound. This is what people are gonna like.
Well, and you see him in a concert today, and he plays anything off of Marsberg. He plays anything off of Rosebud's Revenge. You watch the crowd. They all know the lyrics. They're
All of
all
them.
they're all going nuts, ballistic. When we
Mhm.
saw him here in Atlanta, that show was insane.
Oh,
Really?
Insane. And word for word, bar for bar, everybody in that place.
That's crazy. Because
Yeah.
to be able to know all his lyrics, and I know we're getting off subject now, but
Yeah.
to be able to know all his lyrics because of just so how when you listen to rock, I don't want to know all of Rock Marciano's lyrics. I don't want to sing to Rock Marciano, because when I listen to Rock Marciano, I'm kind of like it's like, okay, he said this now. Okay, what is he gonna say next? It's more of like a science project.
Mhm.
Like
Marciology. It's Marciology.
like there is the artists that you're like, okay, I want to sing along to it. Stove God, you want to sing along. But Rock Marcy, I just find it's just like, it's like you're watching like something just build on the spot. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yep.
And just so much musicality into it. And from three guys that are on here that have listened to different genres of music are able to catch that in his music.
Definitely.
So we jumped off topic, but yeah, he was in Atlanta. We don't get shows like you guys get there. I'd like to
I
shit on
know.
Canada. I like to shit on Montreal. Malenko, I see your face. That's probably my top thing of this year is getting you
gonna-
mad with Canada and how much
So
I hate
annoying.
it.
Fuck.
I,
But,
I can sympathize though. Atlanta doesn't get the shows that most other cities do. Atlanta is not a good support city for concerts, and that's all types of concerts.
Really?
mhm,
Yeah, I mean they're big name A-list acts that have decided not to tour in Atlanta just because they can't sell tickets as quickly as they do everywhere else.
Every
Wow.
city has this thing. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sure Rock's gonna come to Montreal now too. He
Never
was
in
in
this,
Toronto,
never.
fuck.
It's not happening.
Toronto.
Maybe in 5 years we'll probably have to go somewhere. So let's get into this year. Let's get into these albums from this year, these producers from this year, and these artists from this year. Like I mentioned, I'm really enjoying this year. I'm really enjoying everything that's going on. Again, the music that's coming out, there's a lot coming out. There's times that I'm just like I messaged you, Malenko, on Saturday. I was cutting the grass and I'm like, shit, I just listened to the Jason Martin album. Did you hear it? And you stop me and you say no. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No,
And you're like, no, I'm listening to, what were you listening to?
I'm listening to Why Loud by Knowledge and Anderson Paak that came out Friday.
And I
And
had no
that's-
idea it came out.
Dude, and like I was preparing for this episode, and that album is like, should I put it? Should I not put it? It's incredible. It's incredible.
And then I asked you, I said, did you listen to the Ty Farris? And you said no. And then
Ooh.
I said, are you fucking insane?
Dude, I was preparing for this episode, man. I was doing the wrap up, listening to all these albums, and I'm telling you, the Anderson Paak is surprising. Really
I'll have
good
to check it
album.
out. I haven't checked it out.
It's the smoothest album of the year. Like Knowledge, I'm gonna talk about it later. Just a hint like that.
I
Okay.
hint.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna give our top fives of 3 categories. Okay, it's 6 months into the year. Top 5. We're not gonna do top 10. I know it's hard. I'm sorry, but we're gonna give our top fives, and we're gonna see at the end of the year if our top fives for these categories have changed. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm a nerd. Malenko,
Now,
you're a
you said
nerd.
three categories or 2?
No, there's 3 categories.
Okay.
Did I It's okay. I know you could do it on the spot. This is what we do as music nerds.
I just want to reread the message that you sent just in case.
By the way, I'm a terrible
Overall.
communicator.
Top 5 producers so far. Oh, no, it is in there. It is in there. I missed that part. That's cool. I got it.
It's okay. I know you got it. It's an
Yeah.
easy one. It's an easy one. Okay, so let's start off with our top 5 producers of 2024 so far. Malenko, you're gonna kick this one off.
I'm gonna kick this one out. So the first, I'm gonna go 5 and up. So number 5.
Wait, I gotta pause you on this.
All right.
Nobody told us who to put in here. These are our lists based on us. No, I gotta say it because
personal taste. Yeah.
it's
Personal
us,
taste,
personal
100%.
taste. This is what us music nerds. Sorry, Karl, I called you a music nerd, but I'm sure
I'm a nerd in so many other ways too. It's okay.
I love it.
Music nerd is the coolest nerd part of me.
Probably
So,
right now.
yeah.
Well, get ready for when I ask you the top 5 questions in 5 seconds. I can't wait for that one. But yes, this is our lists based on what we think. Malenko, kick it off. Top 5 producers this year,
Okay.
2024.
So number 5 is Future Wave, because of the projects he's been put it on, and I can't wait to hear what's gonna come up next. But it's mainly for the STNAC album because I really like the
Stone
sonic
Temple
of that
Pyrex
album.
was incredible.
I love that project, and I think the production for me goes over the performance of STNAC 110%. I love the way he changed those beats and just the sonic of the whole album. So 5 is Future Wave. Number 4, I'm going with London Drugs. London Drugs for Affiliated 2, that I'm gonna talk about later. I have number 3, Big Ghost. I mean, Big Ghost for me, I count is Mickey Diamond projects as well. So the Gucci Ghost.
Well, at least 4 because it came out so late, no one counted it in 2023.
Exactly. So I count that one at 2024. So that one for me is 2024, and he has man, he been putting in work. We've been talking about it since forever now. And Steven got me pissed off last time showing me those comments of the Instagram page, people calling out Big Ghost and stuff. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to go to war on it. I wanted to go to war on IG like a nerd.
But Malenko, I did it on purpose because it goes to show how people don't understand production. Look, I don't understand production, but I have an ear for
Big Ghost
production.
He's saying Big Ghost should reinvent himself. What the hell does he mean by that? What the hell does he mean by that? What does
They're
he mean,
not familiar.
Reinvent themselves. Do what? You should change genre of music.
You listen to 2 Nights in Marrakesh, and then listen to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and then listen to Bazooko, and tell me that's this. That guy has so much versatility. That guy has so much in his magic bag of tricks. It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So,
I've said it. It's like being at an orchestra, an opera.
The Chez Noir album doesn't sound like the Milano Constantine album. Doesn't sound like the Jay Skis album.
No, I'm telling you, I think he has his sound. He's so different, but you still pick up his sound all the time. So that's something that's tough to do. After I was at number 3, so number 2 is Knowledge because of this album. I'm telling you, the way that album is way too smooth, and Knowledge has been putting in work for so long. I wish he could link up for more people. I don't know why he doesn't do it, but that album with Anderson .Paak, is really tough to beat. Really
What's it
tough
called?
To beat. It's called Why Lord, because the first one was Yes Lord, and this one is Why Lord.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
The first one, Yes Lord, is 2000. Is the last one was in 2016. So already Knowledge dropped really the consistency of his beats and the way he flows to one to another is the best one I've heard all year, by far. If it just sounds like one big album, and Anderson .Paak, when he does that smooth stuff, he's unbeatable. I think he's unbeatable. Like, I was thinking about it. I'm going off topic. Okay,
go.
I was thinking about it in the car while listening to it. And if Drake would do this type of music. Okay, like because I think he wish he could do that because he's not smooth at all, but he's cringy when he's trying to do those slick bars. He's cringy, but if you could take that and make it like Anderson Paak does it with knowledge and be smooth like that, he'd be probably one of the best artists. Like he could be one of the top ever, I think. But he can never do it. That's what I was thinking. That was really off topic, but
To your point is how important production is.
like if you would if Drake would have made that album, I couldn't hate on it. Like it would be the best thing ever. All that like I couldn't front on it for sure. Whatever. But it's Anderson Paak that did it. So whatever. But what you need to go listen to that. And number one, I mean, is The Alchemist. What the hell is The Alchemist? I think the dude is a veteran. He knows how to produce and take out product and just keep it consistent the whole time. And he's been with everyone this year. Big hit. He did the Gangrene, and he did Meet the Grams. That's probably the biggest song of the year. So I don't know who can beat that. I really can't. That's my top 5 for me.
And how eerie is the Meet the Grahams beat?
It's so simple. It's so simple.
Mhm.
It's so like people think it's easy to make those beats. Nobody could do those beats. It's so simple to hear it, and you think, oh, no, everyone can do that. No one can do that. That's just alchemists that can produce a beat like that.
It feels like I'm in a 1970s horror movie, and I'm running, and then there's the killer in back of me.
Yeah, the piano, he made it on purpose. He made it on purpose. I wish one day we're gonna get the whole backstory of how Kendrick was at that time and how the whole process for both sides, pretty much. I wish there was like a documentary of that or something, but just the way they process, you think they made it together? You think maybe Alchemist sent them like 5 beats after hearing the diss track? We don't know that. So that's all big questions. I wonder if Al was just like, oh shit, let me text Kendrick right now. Here's 5
Hey,
beats for you,
I
bro.
got something.
I got something. I got
That would
5
be
beats.
amazing.
We don't know what happened, so we
No.
don't know.
No,
Good list. Good list.
very
Karl,
good.
you're
All right,
next.
so don't be surprised that I don't have Alchemist on my list. And there's a specific reason for that. I view Alchemist as one of the gods of Olympus
Hmm.
that comes down and fucks with us every once in a while, but he's still kind of up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I'm thinking about underground producers, I don't generally include him in that thought process, even though he blesses us
Yep.
with incredible work and with who he works with.
Yep.
So if I'm going number 5, God Bless Beats. I went with kind of an unconventional.
Yep.
He does not get enough credit. I think people are going to catch on to what he does. I think he's one of the filthiest producers in the sense that you know, as somebody that produced music and have done recording and things like that, there's an overgain quality to some of his music that gives a distortion to
Mhm.
some of the low end and stuff like that, and it really feeds to the way he cuts samples and the samples that he chooses to use. It's this intentional style that he puts in, because I've heard him do others that weren't like that, but
Okay.
generally he has this real grimy overtone to like the low end of his music that I love.
Nice.
Japocalypto, God Bless the Trap with Trap Hefe. Ridiculously great albums. And you know, he's done a lot of other work. I think he's got a song on the Stars Coleman album that's coming out shortly,
Okay.
which going to be amazing, I'm sure. So God Bless Beats, I think, needs more recognition, and an amazing dude as well. Number 4, I'm gonna put Machacha, and you know,
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you that, you know, number wise, a lot of this stuff will fluctuate for me. And 2 months
Yeah,
from now, we could have the same conversation and might not even be the same people on the list. But
for sure.
I have a ton of respect for Machacha. The French Laundry album with Maze that dropped,
Yeah, I haven't listened to
crazy
it yet.
good.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Crazy good.
That sound.
Yeah,
It
the
sounds like we're
port-
in France.
the Port, Substance 810.
Yes.
The Andre de Saint album, Cult Classique.
Didn't hear it yet.
It's really heavy. I love it. So and Machacha came off a ridiculous run from last year as well. Number 3, I'm gonna go Sadhu Gold.
Oh, Sadhu, yes.
And some of it has to do with the fact that he was the favorite, or like every track on that Makhami album that he did were my favorites. I mean, and he did an album, Sequoia Banshee Boogers, with Dark Shogun that was really good. Been working with the God Fahim, been working with Conway and Joey Badass. I mean, he's been putting in a lot of work. So, and I don't know if you guys caught the Maze Overlay album that Sadhu Gold did with him last year, but shout out to Maze Overlay. That was insane as well. Number 2, Big Ghost. Gucci Ghost 4, I totally count. Last Exit to Crooklyn was an amazing follow-up to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And, you know, in the same sense that the 2 Crime Apple albums, because Bazooka is, you know, another reason that album is insane. But in both of those instances, he's worked with both of those artists before, but gave you something completely different sonically.
Yep.
And you know, the talent with him is just ridiculous. And again, one of the nicest guys. I don't want to know who he is. I really don't, because I don't ever want like that mystique to go away. It's so cool that we have an invisible man that's running around here performing acts of heroism for us.
With the biggest name, he's like just giving the albums the biggest name out there. Just working.
Like, keep the mask on. I'm cool. I don't want to know. I'm good. And Future Wave's my number 1 spot right now, for a couple reasons. That Rome Streets Noise Candy 5 remix that he did was great. I love the spin that he put on that. Stone Temple Pyrex, ridiculous. And I love the nod to 90s grunge. So Stone Temple Pilots, you know, and the album artwork was insanely well done. I don't know if you guys heard a little bit of the new stuff that he and Danielson have cooking.
No, not yet.
I don't want to. I can't.
Because I can't. I kind of don't want it. I want to keep.
Karl, I don't want to interrupt you, but I've been Danielson is probably always gonna be in my top every year. Okay. But when those guys connect to make music, to me, I need the day off. And I need to be Malenko, you know this. I need the day off, and I need to be able to sit with it and just leave everything in my life alone, and there's too much. It's just too much for me. But continue, please.
Yeah, I mean, and the Ty Ferris, the track that he did for Enigma with an Attitude is so heavy. It was so good. So, you know, I don't know, he's also been doing some instrumental stuff on the side, and I shout out to Future Wave. Love that dude.
And he's Canadian.
So yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so, he is.
And you're Canadian. We didn't mention that yet, but you're Canadian. We got 3 Canadians in the house tonight.
And lived in Brampton. I'm rocking my my roots, 1973.
I wanted to wear a Brett Screwed Brett t-shirt, but I couldn't find them. But yeah, great list. And like you mentioned, it could change, or they could be in different orders. That's what that's the beauty. Yeah. That's the beauty of 365 days, 12 months, being able to sit with these producers, these artists, and these projects. They give us the music, they give us the art, and we're able just to like sit with it, break it down, and just have fun with it. That's what it is, basically, right?
Yep.
I'll go with mine. I'm gonna piggyback off you, Karl. I'm going with Future Wave at number 5. Everything you mentioned, his production. There's always something about him. I also find that he evolves with the artist that he works with. Like Danielson,
I can't wait to see what's next for him. Oh.
it's crazy because Danielson, he has that sound for Danielson. He made a sound for Este Nac. He remixed a Rome Streets project from last year that was a phenomenal project from Rome Streets. And it doesn't sound, it sounds like a totally new album. It's not remix. It's like, I'm gonna redo the album.
Yeah. Yo, can I ask you guys something? Like,
go for it.
Do you guys think, okay, if Drake went and go to Future Wave?
Thanks, Lukey. I appreciate that.
Lukey said that numerous times, and
Lukey said the same thing. It's true, and I was like, Future Wave should have produced for Drake. Do you guys think he would do it or not?
No,
I don't think he would do it. I think the problem with Drake is very comfortable being mega famous. And part of the reason why that beef was very slanted towards Kendrick was because in throwing shade out there, he wasn't going to alienate his fan base in any way.
No.
He wasn't going to push the level to where it should have gone, because he can't chance losing any ground on where he is.
No.
He's got too much to lose.
Yeah.
And he's good with that. I think he's totally fine with that. And so he's never gonna do what he doesn't have to do.
Yeah.
Can he rap? Yes, Drake can rap. And I think if he really wanted to be slick, he could be slick. But I don't think there's a necessity, and so why bother? It's not going to increase his fan base enough to make a difference.
Yeah. Future. Steven, you think he would do it quickly?
Who, Drake or Future Wave?
Future Wave. If Future Wave.
Future Wave would do it.
Absolutely.
He would do it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Future Wave would do it.
Absolutely. I think
Drake won't.
In a heartbeat. They're from Toronto. They're both from the same area. Why not get together? Right? It would make sense. Just do something different, put out something different, put out a different sound, see what happens. Who gives a shit what people think? When people say that they know hip hop, they're part of the culture and stuff like that, then do something different. Continue.
He's stated before that he has a lot of respect for Drake because Drake is hometown, and Drake has always repped hometown. So if you were to press Future Wave and say, well, are you a fan of all of his albums? He's going to say, I respect Drake.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Why not?
Because he's not going to throw shade on somebody that's done so much for Toronto.
For sure.
And I respect that. Whether he's a huge fan of his music or not, I don't know. But if given the opportunity to do a record for him, it'd be the best record Drake's ever done.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Good point. That's actually a really good point. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Jamil Honesty. The projects that he's produced for this year, and yes, he's a rapper, he's an MC, but he stands out in his own lane as a producer as well. Just look at the project he did with Big Trip. That's where I was like, you know what, this guy could really produce music. Like, he did stuff for Sean Lynx. Okay. That sounds totally different for the project that he put out for Big Trip. Okay. And something that sticks out for me in his production is instrumentation, the guitar, the bass, the drums. I find that's just so important when you're producing music, and I find he does a really great job at producing.
Yeah, he's got a great ear for it,
right? So, and I find sometimes it's like a cheat code being able to, you rap, you're an MC, but you can also produce. When you put those two together, it's almost like having a cheat code. You have that ear. It's something you want to hear, right? When you ask for a producer for, hey, can you shoot me a beat? Sometimes you'll get back, you'll be like, yeah, I want it like this, but I would have changed this and this. He's able to do that.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Number 3 is going to be Superior.
Yes.
Excellent choice.
I am a sucker, pause, for guitar. When you sample guitar, you win me over right away. And the fucking guitar that he sampled on that album with Jay Skis,
Those Union 4s,
Mhm.
okay,
those guitar
is just
sick.
ridiculous.
That riff, yeah.
And the 2 singles that he put out with his new album with Sirio,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't understand how he produced that sound.
It's really good.
It sounds like the gods are coming down to earth,
Yeah.
or Moses split the sea. Do you understand? Like, it's just so
Mhm.
much behind it. It's like a theme. It's like cinematic type sound.
Yes, and after talking to him, now that I hear his beats, I can. When he said to us that like he likes to play with the every sound, even though it's a loop, he likes to play with the guitar. He likes to play with the drums and all that. Like you can hear it now. I can feel he's more intricate than other beats than I can hear on other projects. Let's say, but yeah,
Also, his production value
Yeah.
is incredible. You know, there are certain producers, Future Wave, Big Ghost, and Superior. I would probably say are in the top 3 as far as that overall sound quality.
yes,
That just giving you crisp, clean, beautiful music that's mixed perfectly well, that sits in the headset right. Yeah, Superior's got a ton of talent.
yes,
Number 2, it's Big Ghost. Look,
we all have him. We all have him.
look. You give me Gucci Ghost 4, even though it was in December. You give me that Eddie Kane album.
Mm.
You give me Bazooko, and you tell me if any of those sound the same. Okay.
Nope.
I don't think he's ever done the sound he's done on that Eddie Kane Last Exit to Crooklyn. I don't think he's ever done that sound he's done on Bazooko.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
I'll stick by that. I'll write in comments. I'll fucking post it. I'll wear a t-shirt. This dude, his body of work, the way he curates his music, the way he produces his music, the sound. He's a guy like us.
Mhm.
He's a nerd like us that has art on his wall, has a bunch of money spent on stupidity that we love because that's the way we are, and just produces music the way he wants to hear it. End of story. End
Yep.
of fucking
He's
story.
he's the cobbler that takes a mold of your shoe and
Yep.
makes you a shoe that you'll never ever have to replace. Like he's that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so form fit.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, style wise, functionality wise, it's all going to be set for you. The
Mhm.
way you walk, the way, you know, your arch is, all of it's custom made.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of how he seems to approach music is he looks at an artist and obviously he gets to pick and choose who he wants to work with. So he does his homework. He knows what's going to work well for somebody. And then he custom makes this mold and says, here, there's your pocket.
Yep. 100%.
With an orchestra,
That's
like
well.
being at the
That's well
opera.
said. Yep.
Yes.
I
Crazy.
Shout
see.
out to Hector Puente Jr. and
Fuck.
the Santiago men's basketball choir or whatever the fuck that is.
I love it. I love it. And number 1 is gonna be Machacha.
Nice.
The dude has been on a roll for how many years?
Crazy.
3, 4, 5
The
years.
last 3 he's been on fire.
Yep.
Insane. Working with different artists, and he put out a project under his name with a bunch of artists. And
Mhm.
when you're able to do that, and because I'm not big on
Kunst art.
yes,
Kunst.
Kunst art.
I'm
Yep.
not big on producers putting out an album with different artists. I find it's fine. I find it's like listening to a playlist, and I'm not big on playlists. But this project was just fucking great. Like it sounded so well together. Like I'm not big on the playlist sound. This dude was able to just put an album together with a bunch of guys that he's already worked with. But the album just doesn't sound like Lucy's.
No.
You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I find sometimes these producers put out Lucy albums. This wasn't a Lucy album. It flowed nicely. And again, he's just been on a run producing fantastic music, whether it's one track on a Vega album or whether it's a full fucking album. Just
This may be old person speak, but the
Okay.
the concept, I like when producers do that.
Mhm.
More so than projects where it's multiple producers and one rapper.
Mhm.
Again, they're the Enigma with an Attitude, 100% one of those albums. It's amazing sonically all the way through. But the I I always think back to Quincy Jones.
Mm.
And Quincy Jones had an album called The Dude, and Jeffrey
Yes.
Osborne and a bunch of different amazing vocalists
Mhm.
throughout. And basically, they were all songs that were written by him and produced by him. And he brought just different people that he's worked with over the decades, onto the album. Still to this day, one of my favorite albums to go back to.
Mm. What a genius, Quincy Jones, man. Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's my top 5 for producers.
Nice. Good list.
Let's get into artists. Okay? And when I
Mhm.
say artists, I mean could be projects, their body of work,
Mhm.
whether it's they're on a featuring, they could even be producing what they have brought to 2024 as an individual artist. Karl, you're gonna set this one off.
Oh, all right. This is the one I missed in
Yeah,
the
that's it.
email.
Oh shit! I
So
should have went with my
Yeah,
Malenko, huh?
yeah. Let me go first. Let's
Okay,
let's do all
don't take the
two.
shine away from Karl.
No, no,
He's our guest.
no. We're gonna go us two, and then Carl can pick, so he can make his idea while he's listening.
That's
Oh, I've
why
already got a few.
that's
Okay.
why you run the podcast. I appreciate that.
Okay, so first my top 5. So I go 5. Mike Shab, because of his rapping ability on this last album. It's something that's different. He's really unorthodox. He's he he raps with a trap flow over drumless beats. He could rap the same flow on like a Kodak album. Like
Mhm.
he uses, and I really like it. I really like that. I like rappers when they have fun. And it's easier for me to listen as well. So him not having English as his first language, that's something I can relate to and pick up what he's saying. And I like how he talks, cuts in between lines, and start back. And we talked about on the review, but his producing ability, he really has a ear that is different. It's something that we don't hear a lot. And he make it work. Number 4, Boldy James. Boldy James has
Hmm.
been everywhere. And it's mostly because of his album with Craven at the beginning of the year. That was our first review as well. But and then all these features. He just released a feature this Friday with 211 called Classic with Jay Worthy. I love his verse. He was on Mike Shab stuff. He was with Ransom stuff. So the guy just don't stop. He just don't stop. Number 3, I have Schoolboy Q because of the rollout of the album. It's been a long time since I've seen a good rollout like that, and it was nice to see an artist taking the time to give us a rollout, an anticipation for the album, an artistry behind it, and just doing good promos and being out there after missing 5 years of being out there. He hasn't done nothing in 5 years, like a couple features here and there. But for him to roll out an album like that, old school, love it. And the way he delivered the album. 2 is the easiest choice for me is Mickey Diamond again. I think the dude is gonna be in my top for the next couple years. I hope so. But
It's
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
the guy is just, we talked about it so much, I don't know what even to say anymore. But the guy is top for me. Something that I always look up when something drop. I'm gonna listen first day, that's for sure. And the number 1 is a cheat code, and it's cheap, and I'm sorry, but I cannot escape it. It's Kendrick Lamar and Drake, both number 1. They fucking moved everything exploded, and we have nothing else. Like, even people that didn't want to talk about this, we needed to talk about it because it was so big. And the guy just came out of nowhere, dropped like 4 songs. They're all top on Spotify right now, the most streamed, the most listened to, the most rotation everywhere, plays at the club, everybody talked about it. I mean, people that never heard of them talked about it. So how can you not be the top artist with those mega bombs? You made all top tabloids, everything. So for me, they made the whole rotation. Dude, YouTube, all the YouTubers were richer because of those two guys. How can you beat that? Right? Right? Everybody made more money because of it. So go ahead, Carl.
Can I interject something?
Yes,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Taylor Swift made more noise going to Kansas City
For
football
sure.
games
For
than
sure.
those two did rapping. I am not going to
For sure.
give either of them any fucking credit.
Yeah, but you need to think, because I there's another point as well. There's another point for me. I think that Kendrick and Drake, because of those two battles, people went back to Mr. Morale and listened to the album and give it a second opportunity. For that, for me, it's a big thing, because a lot of people went back that didn't like it or didn't appreciate it as much, and there's a new light turning on that as well.
Um,
So I'm gonna
that
give it that to
and
them.
The Alchemist producing Meet the Grams, I think, is for us in this lane, for us that are into the
It's true.
boom bap. I think that's probably the best part of it, is that, in that the kerfuffle or whatever you want to call
Mhm.
that, because it wasn't a beef. Um, you know, there was at least a window that was opened up to people to see, oh, this dude's producing other shit and it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. But a lot of people went back to the album when you see on the comments, or
Hmm.
just on the streaming of the album went up.
Yep.
So it gave it a second. So that for me too, I think, and I think they're gonna drop probably something this year. So we'll see.
Good list. Again, I'm gonna piggyback off the person before me. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar, and I'm gonna explain to you why, because it's different than what you said, Malenko. I've been a Kendrick Lamar fan for a very long time, and I never cared what people had to say, whether it was from the underground lane, from the commercial lane, or whatever fucking lane people want to call it. I am a big Kendrick Lamar fan. Being able to sit back and seeing an artist from the different lane in hip hop, yes, let's call it the more commercial lane, the lane where yes, they have a more of a fan base, whatever. But being able to put out that type of music, okay, uh, to me was like, okay, this guy has a different. He could do other things, okay. Everybody always said Kendrick Lamar, yeah, he raps his albums. Sometimes I'm not into them. They're too long. He does too many weird things on it. Whatever, blah 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 blah. He was able to be like, okay, you guys are coming at me. You guys want to argue with me. You guys want to battle rap with me. You guys want to call me out. Absolutely no problem. Look what I could do. Okay. And the whole process from till he came out with Not Like Us, to me, being able to see that in real time on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on all these platforms, you waking me up at 1 o'clock in the morning, say, Steven, did you see what just happened? Did you like it was just like there was such an enjoyment in it. And you could actually say now, when people from are able to be like, you know what, Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar, fuck, you could really rap. You could really do these things. You could really go at somebody, because he's kind of like this. He's a student to the game. Again, he's a guy that grew up on the West Coast, okay, loving artists from the East Coast, loving artists from the South. He was learning from all these people, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's of the world, and he was able to take all that and be like, fuck, this is what I could do. And it was just so interesting being able to see what he could actually do when he had to go head to head with Drake.
Mhm.
And he came out on top. Dude, the guy fucking came out 20 minutes after. Okay.
Yeah. But
Like,
mostly it's what I like about it is too is like you getting people more reading the lyrics and checking the lines and stuff like that's all
Mhm.
about, like, people get into music more. So that's something that I appreciate it. It
hey,
made me put him there.
he said it. You want to fuck with me? Absolutely. No problem. I could do so many different kinds of songs coming at you. And he did that, and it was just so interesting on how he did it. Just especially Meet the Grams. It was just like, oh fuck! It's like, what the hell is happening? Like,
Yep.
it was.
He turned around and dropped a West Coast
Yeah, DJ
style.
Mustard beat. Yeah.
You know, like just, but there again, like I think Kendrick showed you from the beginning, DNA, when halfway through that song he drops and goes into a completely different style of rapping, showed you the versatility and the nod to the previous generations of hip hop. I mean, yeah, I mean the guy's ridiculously talented.
But this is
But there
coming
again,
from guys like
I feel
us.
Drake is too. Drake's more interested in being a pop star than he is a rapper.
But
Yeah,
but
sure.
Carl, to your point about what you said about Kendrick, guys like us, we have the ear for it, so we're able to call it out when the albums come out. Look at what he did with To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City. To Pimp a Butterfly, the jazz feel to it, the soul feel to it, just that funkadelic sound. It's like we're able to call that out. I just find that we're dealing with a generation of people that listen to music that don't consume music the right way. So they're like,
No,
okay,
it's background.
there's Drake. Okay, he's the playlist artist, and then there's Kendrick Lamar under him. Drake is always going to overpower Kendrick, but hold on a second. No, Kendrick could do anything. You want to go up against him? Okay, he could do anything. You know what I mean? It's like putting John Cena in a ring against people, and you're like, yeah, John Cena might be the greatest of all time because he could fucking fight anyone and beat anybody because he's John fucking Cena.
John Cena, yeah.
And I don't like John Cena. My son does. But anyways, that being said, Kendrick Lamar number 5. Number 4 is gonna be Raz Fresco. Okay.
Oh, I hesitated on Raz.
super talented dude, whether it's on the production side, whether it's on the rapping MC style, the projects he's put out, that Cooking Soul album he put out this year, the stuff he did with Danielson on
Danielson
Northside
was crazy. Yep. Northside was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing album.
And he's gonna be putting out a project with DJ Muggs. Just him as an artist, he's an artist. Again, he's Canadian as well. And I think we need to continue showcasing those Canadian artists that sometimes might not move in different areas in the world, but that dude has been super talented for a very long time, and I'm happy that he's putting out projects this year where he might not be behind the production board and more as the MC, because he produces a lot of his own stuff. But like having Cooking Soul produced for him, fuck, it was great to hear. It was great to hear. What am I at? Number 3?
Yes.
Number 3 is gonna be Vega 7.
Yep. Good choice.
The dude is just on another level. On another level. I love the way he rolls out his projects. I just love the concepts of his albums. I love the emceeing. I love how you gotta think. Not think like the Rock Marciano thing, but really sit there and think about what he's saying and trying to peel it apart. Like I sat in my kitchen for Shadowrunner for hours trying to understand. He had me on Amazon wanting to buy a book. Like it's true. Like I got invested in wanting to watch fucking sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
So
relentless. He's relentless with the bars, man. You don't stop.
It's insane. It's insane. I don't know how people don't like. How could you say I don't like Vega 7? It makes absolutely no sense. Number 2, Mondo Slade.
Oh,
nice.
Jeez, damn.
Nice.
Mondo Slade. Slade of Hand. Great project. She Loves Me Not. Again,
great.
It's amazing how he was able to do that. Okay, like the female features, just the way he built the album too. Okay, and it's a couple of years now that he's been on a run as well. But there's something about him, and I mentioned it in the last episode that we did when we reviewed it. There's something about him that he gets me invested, like I was invested in Wu-Tang. Okay, and it's not. You need to be listening to hip hop for a while. You can't give a Mondo Slade album to somebody who's just listened to 5 albums of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
You need to be invested in hip hop. You need to be invested in the underground of hip hop
Mhm.
to be able to grasp everything that Mondo Slade is doing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um, and the number one, it's not one artist; it's a collective of artists. I had to. I can't just say one, but it's the Umbrella Collective.
Yep.
Okay. All of them, every single one of them. Okay. And shout out to Danielson for now being part of the Umbrella Collective, which
That's
to me
heavy.
is the emoji with the head exploding. Okay. And Malenko, can you put that when you're editing?
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you. I
put it. I'll
appreciate you
put
very
it.
much. But it's like these dudes and what they're doing is just incredible because they all have a different sound, a different lane. They're all doing something different, whether it's on the production side, whether it's on the emceeing side, the rapping side. Have you seen them live? Like fucking Pro and Snotty live is insane.
I have seen it.
You've seen it, right? Like it's the energy, and these guys really care about their craft. Look, the Pro Dillinger documentary that came out a couple of weeks ago to a month ago. Fuck, and just the build and how he built that and how these MCs to me, everybody is different. You get a different sound from all of them. And when they're all together, it's crazy. I pray to the gods and earths that I can have a full album of all of them together over 1999 to 2002 Rockefeller beats. Hopefully one day that's gonna happen.
Should I scratch that off of my things I want to see this year? Because that's on my list.
Really?
We'll get into it.
Yeah,
We'll get into it.
So
So
it's your turn. Let's do it.
okay. So I'm not going to put the Umbrella as a collective in, although I 100% agree. But part of it is because I do want to highlight certain individuals in that. So in my number 5 spot, I'm gonna put Snotty. The level of production that he's putting out right now is incredibly high. But he's also really prolific. He's dropping a lot of stuff. He made a commitment he was going to drop a single at least every week and has been keeping true to that, but dropped some really great albums this year on a really good run from last year. And I don't know that he gets enough credit in the Umbrella. You know, he's like a sergeant in arms. He's you know,
really
one
is.
of the first. And he backs it up. So my number 4 actually would be Mondo Slade as well, but
wow.
not just because of what he does on a record with the merch on stage as a performer, but find me a more connected guy in this lane. He is everywhere. Like every time I see him, he's in New York, and then he's in Chicago, and then he's out west, and he's popping up in videos everywhere, and he's, you know, that guy. Everybody you talk to, oh, Mondo, yeah, Mondo's that dude. Mondo really is that dude. My number 3 spot would be Vega 7 the Ronin. I'm a huge fan of the subject matter as well as the use of metaphor and the storytelling, all laced in with this intricately woven bars that I think we're seeing another level of wordsmith in Vega 7 the Ronin.
Yep.
And this is coming from a drummer. Most of his shit is drumless. He prefers to drum on drumless beats. And float isn't even an accurate term for what he does on top of that.
Yep.
He's like a hockey player carving into fresh ice. Like, it's ridiculous what he does with a pen. And you know, out of the drops, Shadowrunner was amazing. I love the nod to that 80s, you know, kind of video game style.
Yep.
I was actually really lucky. I got an advanced copy of that from him and got to help work on some of the artwork, tweak some
Really?
stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. They were
Wow.
having an issue formatting, and so I got to see all that stuff before
The
it
wise
Oh,
man.
released. So
The wise man.
yeah,
The Wiseman in action.
I mean, I do a little something something in Photoshop every now and then. So but yeah, I can't say enough. And we'll get into albums, but Kawasaki Killers was one of my top 5 albums. Hearing him on some heavy body bag bend beats was it's to me it's that like everything I could want in a rap album. Like
Yep.
it was perfection. Um so what's that, number 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So number 2 is Mickey Diamond.
Yep.
And I could go on and on about Mickey. If you don't know who Mickey is, you're in a closet somewhere. Come out. It's like, you know, I don't even have to say it. It's Mickey knows how I feel about him. He's amazing. The only reason he's not number 1 is I'm putting Pro Dillinger there, and we're talking about impact made. The 4th episode of our podcast, Pro Dillinger came on.
Damn.
And he told us a story about wanting to quit. He had gone through several iterations of trying to release himself and not getting what he wanted, and he gave it one more shot. And he said, "This time I'm gonna build something." And he told us, "You watch, in a year, you're gonna know the Umbrella Collective." And Josiah the Gift, Substance, Big Trip, Snotty. I mean, like the list was amazing. And now you throw Danielson in the mix.
Oof.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's I mean,
like,
that's the biggest move they could have done this year, honestly.
and I want
pick.
Danielson on my list as well. Danielson was in the live the other night and said he had been, kind of wrestling with some stuff and wanted to really kind of come back and hit things hard. I think if you ask me in a couple months, Danielson's probably going to be on the top of that list.
Fuck.
I have no doubt. But as far as impact so far in 2024, I think that's a list I can back.
That's
Love
a good
it.
list.
Great list. And all the points that you made.
That was on the spot too. Jesus.
Yep.
On the spot. That's
it's-
why he's a professional, guys. Take notes. That's the
he
wise man.
he sits on the special council. I told you. Okay, Malenko, we have the top 5 albums so far. What do you want to do? You want to give Karl the word? Because I want to hear what Karl has to say. I know what your top 5 is. I know it's Future and it's Future and the other guy who produced it, Metro Booming.
Metro Boomin.
All the 5 spots is that Future and Metro Booming.
How do I log off of this?
Let's give Karl. Karl, I want to hear yours. I'm super
Karl.
excited to hear yours. We've been talking about music for the last couple of months, man. I can't wait.
Okay.
I honestly, just by listening to what you guys do, and we'll get to that later on the Abyss podcast and how you interview these artists and how you guys give them that platform to talk about their albums. I'm super excited to see what your top is. It's gonna make me want to go back to these albums.
All right, so in my number 5 spot is Reasonable Dirt. And I think there again, Pro has a very distinctive sound to his voice.
Yeah.
But uniquely, he's not somebody that has to rap differently on different beats. What he does seems to translate to whether it's Dios es Amor or whether it's, Dirty Work or, I think he's somebody that he can go in and lay down Pro Dillinger sound, Pro Dillinger style, and it works. It works with anything. And, he gives us different sides of himself. Like he's got multiple personality almost. And he's showing us these different personalities that all kind of make up who Pro Dillinger is. And if you're a fan of Pro Dillinger, I think you can learn a lot just going through his catalog. because I think he's very honest in what he gives us.
Oh, for sure.
Number 4 is Super Shredder.
Yes.
I think that says a lot because it dropped so early in the year. But also speaks to what Raul Duke and Mickey did in their follow-up. It's probably not higher because 2 of the ones that are up above it just came out. And so I'm like really heavy on them.
Okay.
So I'm a creature of the moment. So
for sure. Same.
for me, my top 5 is constantly changing. So number 3 would be Kawasaki Killers.
Yes.
As much as I really loved Shadowrunner, oh, I need that kick drum. I need that snare.
Mhm.
And Body Bag gave it to us in abundance.
Oh, so heavy that product, man.
My number 2 is Bazooka with Crime Apple.
Oh wow. Jeez.
I love that. Love that.
And it has nothing to do with Lukey being on it. You know, I feel like, we had talked about Crime Apple and he's one of those rappers that when people are talking about, who their faves are or whatever, someone will mention Crime Apple and everyone else will go, "Oh, Crime Apple, yeah." He exists very comfortably in his fan base space. But I don't think he should ever be underestimated because his talent and his use of vernacular is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And then my number 1 right now is Enigma with an Attitude.
Oh wow.
I'm a huge fan of Ty Ferris. I think he's another one at the end of this year that he's going to be on a lot of people's top 5 lists. When I look at the catalog, even just that he's given us in the last 3 years, No Cosign, Just Cocaine series were amazing.
Yeah.
Pain for Your Vein was amazing. Fluorescent Mud was amazing. He just continually drops these ridiculously high quality albums, and this one's no different. And it's an album with multiple producers, but sonically it feels like it's all produced by one. And I think that has a lot to do with what Ty knew he wanted going into it. I think Ty Ferris is somebody that understands what he wants in a project, and because whether it's through the experiences that he's had or Bars Over BS and all of those other things that he does, he knows how to produce. He knows how to get things done in the true fashion of a producer, whatever that takes. Just, this is how I want it. This is what we're going to get, and we're going to get there. And yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of work.
I told him, Malenko, I spoke with Ty because every time he comes out with a project, I just, a quick thing, a post, a message here and there. And I said, you got to give me 2 weeks with this album, if not more. If not more, I got to be able to listen to this. Like, I want to take a trip for 7 hours to listen to this album continuously, because there's so much into it that it's going to take me so much time. And that's the beauty of his music, to your point, Karl, the beauty of his music.
Yep.
Great list. Love it. Can't wait to see where it is at the end of the year. Malik, you want to go next, or I'm going to go?
I'll go. So I'm gonna start with 4 honorable mentions. No particular order. Okay, I needed to. It's too much. Okay, Conway the Machine, Slant Face Killer, fun album. Love it. Crime Apple, El Leon, and El Bazooka.
Excellent.
And Bazooka. Those 2 are amazing. I can't believe it. I should have put him in fucking artists. I don't know why I didn't put him in artists. I just thinking about it.
Because you put Drake at number 1. That's why.
It's just like what we said, though. You mention it, and then everybody goes, "Oh, Crime Apple." I don't know why I didn't.
And so that's 1. Estinac, Future Wave, Stone Temple Pyrex, and one that came out with the first album that came out this year, practically, Benny the Butcher, Everybody Can Go. I love that album. I think, yes, it is mainstream. Yes, it is glossy, but it sounds perfect. And I don't know what you can ask for more from Benny. He gave us everything about him. And every time I revisit the album, I'm like, oh man, he gave us a 3-part song with 3 beat switches from The Alchemist. It's true on a mainstream album. People don't think about it. The song with Armani is grimy as hell.
Love that track.
People forget about it. So I think it really stayed with me the whole year. Number 5, we mentioned them. We mentioned it in every list, but Vega 7, Kawasaki Killers for me was wow. I never heard about him before. That was my first introduction for him, and my mouth dropped, and I had it dragging for a week. I had it dragging on the floor for a week.
You know who introduced him to us?
Who?
Mickey Diamond.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, damn.
Mickey was on the podcast and said, "You want to check somebody out? Check out that dude."
There you go. So Vega, I mean, he was picked by one of the best. So Kawasaki Killers, the whole imagery, you're right there. I feel like picking up a sword and cutting a throat to that. You know what I mean? So
Lion Tamer.
I should have. Number 4, this is strictly because it's the most fun album I had all year. Jay Worthy, Affiliated 2. Those P-Funks. I mean, London Drugs. I'm going to listen to that the whole summer, that's for sure. But it's a classic. It's a classic P-Funk beat. I love it. And yes, it's more like a compilation. I don't even know why Jay Worthy takes credit for his album, because it's mostly a compilation.
It's true.
But man, he brought back so many guys that I haven't listened in such a long time. Like Lil Kiki, come on, dude. Like I was ecstatic from that. Del the Homo Sapien, like so many dudes on there that have fun with it. So
man, it's true. He used Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Yeah, he's there. I'm telling you, that P-Funk, those songs are amazing to me.
Man, Del.
That album makes me sing in the car. I'm singing. I brought I almost candy paid in my car when I listen to that. And then we go to number 3. Okay, so the top 3 is a toss-up, okay? These are the most listened albums, and they're all 9 clubs. All 9 clubs. Mickey Diamond, Super Shredder. I gave it a 9.5 at the beginning of the year. That came out on April 5. I rant about it on the episode. I went crazy, but come on. Number 2, Rock Marciano, Marciology. It's just the quality at this point. I don't know. It's so good that we take it for granted at the end of the day, I think.
Definitely.
Yep.
No, I think that's true.
I think it's so good that we take it for granted. It's like I didn't want to put The Alchemist as top producers, but it's so good that I cannot not do it. But Rock Marciano, same thing for Marciology. I think it's one of my favorite project of his. Yes, he went more like a classic Rock Marciano way, but all of those beats is something that I enjoy. Compared
classic
to like
Rock Marciano is amazing.
It's not a tough listen. Everybody can get behind it. Like if I put Mount Mercy in the car with my girlfriend, halfway through she'd be looking at me like, "You really listen to this?" But the Rock Marciology, she can get into it. She can get into it.
Man.
Now that's
great.
That's a 9 out of 10. March 29.
Oh, you're telling me the dates? I don't know any of these dates, by the way. FYI.
You better look them up real quick.
Look them up. And Schoolboy Q is my favorite. Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips, 9 out of 10. That came out March 1. And so in March, we had Kawasaki Killers, March 29, at the same time as Conway the Machine, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Yep.
Jay Worthy, March 8th. Mickey Diamond, April. Rock Marcy, March 29. Jesus. So that was the best month. That won it. But Blue Lips for me, I know the critic is either you hate it or you love it. For me, Just Click is the album that I listen the most. Preparing for this, I was going through every album. And the one that stuck with me that I listened 3 times is Blue Lips. And at first I ranked it a 9 out of 10. I think I can go even 9.5. The songs that I didn't really like at the time, now I love them. And it goes into so many pockets. It goes into so many different pockets, and he uses so many beats, and it's still cohesive. So that's something that's tough to do. And when you have an album that you change favorite song every now and then, that's a good sign. When you stuck with one song for the rest of it, that's not a good sign. When you change favorite song every time you listen to it, that means it's something big, and I think is probably one of his best projects. So Blue Lips for me is my top one.
Good list.
Nice.
Karl, did you hear Blue Lips?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
I went back to it, and it's probably just my headspace and where I'm at. I can't get into it. It's like I want something that I'm not getting.
It's mainstream. I just, like I talked about, the rollout was excellent, and just the attitude of Schoolboy Q just dropping the last album 5 years ago. That was the biggest mainstream thing that he could have done, and chasing numbers to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do something that I like. I'm gonna take my time, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. And he did that. It's really good. The only thing I don't like is that verse of Devin Malik on Lovebirds. I don't think he should have the second verse on that. But other than that, man, everything on what he did I love it.
Good list. Great list. I can't wait to see if it's actually going to be number 1 at the end of the year. We got 6 months. So my list, we're going to get through this one quick. Number 5 is Mickey Diamond. Yeah. Cinco, Mickey Diamond. Super Shredder. Okay. If you don't listen to Mickey Diamond, like Karl said, you're in a closet somewhere, you need to come out. Mickey Diamond is the artist. When we put together an artist and we're like, okay, this is what I want from my artist, that's what Mickey Diamond comes out.
Yep.
It's what I've always wanted from my artist. The way he flows, the way he is on that certain production from Raul Dukes, just the wrestling, the fucking animation, the fucking Ninja Turtles. Just it's like us growing up. It's like, fuck, there's a rapper that's rapping about the stuff we like, and he's fucking damn good at it.
Yep.
This is it's number 2 of what they put out together. It's the follow-up, but man, I find this better than the first album. Maybe it's just me. It's just fucking incredible.
I like it better than the first.
Like listening to them back to back.
Oh fuck.
If you put them on and go 1 through 2, it's the same with the Gucci Ghost series.
Yep.
If I can't listen, I can't even listen to one album anymore. I have to listen to 1 through 4 in order.
It's crazy, huh?
Or else my OCD starts going crazy. I start,
What's your favorite one out of all 4? Just since we're on the topic, you can only pick one.
Ooh, 3, I think.
Oof, I think it's 3 as well.
Me, it's either 3 or 1.
Yeah, 1. I don't know. I don't know. That's like asking which limb you like on your firstborn child. Like if you could only keep one, you going left arm, left leg, right leg. Which one? No, you can't separate them.
No.
It depends how they behave. Maybe which one I'd like the most. My daughter and my son. But to get to the Mickey and Super Shredder, just the second song, Shredder Loves April.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking brilliant stuff that we would never see. Brilliant.
Coffee beans.
Jesus Christ. Like,
Rock
we could
steady. Damn.
Cartoons.
Yeah, just the title alone.
Foot Clan Party.
Yeah.
They took Splinter. Like,
you also have so many levels to the homage to Doom, whether it's in the artwork, whether it's in the song titles, whether it's in, the referencing that he makes. whether it's in the way that Raul Duke uses some of the samples that he uses. So many different nods to Doom. And for me, I mean, he'll always be my GOAT.
Yeah. The way he cuts beats and the sound bites of it's really doomy. Yeah.
I mean, they set out to do that with the first one and did it amazingly, and then topped it with the second one, which is crazy.
Just brilliant. It's stuff that I would make my son listen to, and he's able to be like, wow, it's Ninja Turtles. Like he's able to
gets the
pick
references,
right, and he's only 8. Fuck, it's just so cool. So if anybody that hates on that could go fuck themselves. Next album is
Food Sick.
number 4, Rock Marciano. Rock Marciano, man. We really take for granted that human being and his brain and how it functions and how it's put together. Just every time he puts out an album, it's somewhere in a top, because just of how it's put together, and just that song. That's it. It's the last song on the album. It's like Rock Marciano never did that. It's like, this is something new. And even the first song, it's like we're always getting new and new and new from Rock Marciano. It's always kind of he's not trying to reinvent himself, but he's always trying to give us a different flavor. It's like when you go to you want to go get some ice cream, and there's a bunch of flavors, and you've always had that flavor, but there's like, no, hold on a second, there's the Rock Marciano flavor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 3, Eddie Kane and Big Ghost.
Oh wow!
Last Exit to Crooklyn.
Amazing album.
The fucking soundscape to that album. Like I've said this before, I want to take a plane and I want to go to Brooklyn, and I just want to listen to that on my headphones. I want to be able to walk Brooklyn for 24 hours, just continuously listen to that. I don't know where Big Ghost is from, to be honest with you, but how he was able to give us that sound that really sounds like it's in Brooklyn. Okay. Like just the jazzy feel to it, just the whole, like the background noise to the beats, and just everything that Eddie Kane lays out. First, the storytelling. And again, like it's a sequel kind of, right?
It is. It's a follow-up.
But it's just like, and we've spoken about this, Karl, where you love Tree Grows in Brooklyn. This one to me is just as great, if not better. And the sound is so different, right? It's just I and the production from Big Ghost is so different. I haven't heard this from him. It's great to hear. And going back to it, I did like what you did with Schoolboy Q. I listened to it 3-4 times because it just kept resonating with me continuously. It's just incredible. I can't wait to get the CD from the Rap Winkle. It's the CD long box, like they did with the. It's just fucking great.
Yeah, Eddie's one of my favorites. I love his style. I love his sound. I love the way he spits, whether it's him by himself or him doing back and forth with Rim. I'm a huge fan of Eddie Kane.
Great music.
Yeah.
Dose is gonna be Vega 7 with Shadowrunner.
Oh, you put Shadowrunner over.
If you have somebody like myself sitting at a kitchen table, writing all your bars down to try and understand what you're saying, and going on Google, using the internet, doing all this shit to really grasp all the information you're giving to me, I
do homework.
Like I'm doing homework. Like it was fucking crazy, because my wife came downstairs and she says, what are you doing? I was in the dark. Okay. I was in the kitchen. I had the headphones on and I had a notepad
with just neon lights everywhere. Let's say that.
Okay. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, leave me alone. I'm trying to listen. And I like, even all the wrestling bars, dude.
I had this image of you in the kitchen with a big whiteboard and a bunch of red yarn string going back, connecting dots to phrases that are put out.
That's what
like you're trying to solve a crime.
But that's what it is. He's fucking brilliant at that. And just being a wrestling fan and being able to just like get everything he's saying, I understand. Every single fucking bar about the wrestling, I understand. And I spoke to him about it. And the guy, what I love about Vega, he gives you that the time of day to have a conversation with you. And he gave me that. And I swear to you, we spoke about hip hop for maybe 2 minutes. The rest of the conversation was about WrestleMania 9 and fucking the wrestlers he was referencing.
Nice.
To me, that was like, wow, fuck, my day's good. I'm on to the next. It was amazing.
Nice.
And this guy is just brilliant the way he puts the pieces of the puzzle together with his music. Number 1, Pro Dillinger, Reasonable Dirt.
I know it. You love
did?
that, huh? Yeah. You love that album.
That album to me just it touches home. There's something about that album that I don't get from the other Pro albums. And there's like a song, there's the songs on there, it's just like it's heartfelt. I could relate to it, not totally, but what he's saying makes me realize things about my life or things I've gone through with what the stuff he's talking about. It's like you have that connection.
Yep.
And there's songs on there that I'll play back to back to back to back to back before I get to the next song. What's the song on there that just I've been terrible with songs. Just by the way, bars over BS. There's songs on there that just you think, it makes you think. It's like, wow, what this guy went through, you could relate to it in a certain way, but this guy is really heartfelt with his music, and the production was just it was laid out for him to be like, I could talk about this on this album.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my
Nice.
Great
Good list.
Yeah, that's my top 5 on the notepads. Let's see where this is at in the next. You have a book. I need a book.
This is my editing book. So you'll like in here, I've got notes for each episode and where I had to make cuts or where Lukey disappeared or
even me. I had it one time in the episode and I had to deal with that. And I did well. You saw that? I did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I write notes. Maybe sometimes people probably they don't know and they're just looking at me that I'm looking away. But on my second monitor here, I put all notes down. Sometimes time marks the stuff, so it's easier for me. Karl understands me. I like that.
Yep. I'm with you.
So a couple of things, albums you're looking forward to this year. Go, Karl.
So the Umbrella album first and foremost. Yeah. I know from what we've been very Inspector Clouseau, Columbo-esque, and pieced together information from several of the members that didn't know there was a hush hush on it. Because Pro's been very tight-lipped about it. Apparently it's mostly done. Mickey said he's got, I think, a few verses that he needs to turn in.
Okay.
Hopefully now that Danielson's in the mix, maybe they'll add an extra track or two. But yeah, there's definitely one coming. It doesn't really benefit any of them to do it. It's not like they're going to catch, enough of a bag individually to make it work.
No, for sure. No.
But I think for the fans is more the reason they're doing it, and I'm all for it.
And the thing is for the rabbit hole as well, because people people that don't know them individually, they're gonna know it from that album, and then is Spiderweb's gonna go around, so.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of peppering in Umbrella members as features onto albums, though. You'll find
overdoing it and not overdoing it as well.
But they give good combination changes, like the tag team matchups are unique, and they'll variate them, so you get to hear Josiah with different people, and
Josiah's a problem. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, another just amazing lyricist, and wordsmith, definitely. I'm really looking forward to the Danielson Future Wave project. I'm hoping that Feed the Family drops some more stuff, because I'm really excited about. I'm big fan of Sheikh Hanif and the whole crew over there, just doing a lot of cool shit. There's another Primo Jab project or two coming this year. He's been
Get
putting in
out.
some work.
Oh yeah, wow.
And my wife and I got to work on the Jab Goblin art.
Oh, nice.
And I've also done art for the Book of Jab 2.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, I did the cover for that. So I believe we're working on another cover for Primo Jab. So
That's amazing.
yeah, so I'm always looking forward to Primo Jab shit. It's good.
It's crazy how the cover art makes such a difference in the vision you're getting for the album.
Big time.
You probably listened to the albums before, right? To make those album covers?
No. So as much as I like to goof around on Photoshop, my wife is a almost 35-year accomplished artist that
wow
paints, sculpts, draws. At Oddmod Works on Instagram, you can check out her stuff. She does medical text drawings that you would think were photographs. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, she's just insanely talented. So Primo Jab just basically said, here's the idea I had, and then Erica turned around and went, boom, there it is, and done deal. So yeah, she's just good like that.
That those cover arts, man, that face is just, it resonates with me all the time. It's when I think of Primo Jab, that face pops up. It's like his face doesn't exist for me anymore. It should just be that face when you guys record. Malenko, anything?
The Serial in Superior. Son of Sibaris. I can't wait to hear that. That's gonna be something that I'm pretty I'm looking forward to because of Serial. Because of Cadillac One, I hesitated on putting on my automobile benches, but Serial is something that I've been listening a lot in my rotation. So from now to have Superior going into that and doing this album is gonna be big. Danielson, again, the signature with the Umbrella Collective now. That's mean we'll see what it won't is gonna mean, but
we'll see if he's the only new member.
We'll see too. Maybe it's gonna get even bigger, but man, I can't wait to see that. Other than that, like it's still the same scene, the same guys I want to see coming back and dropping again, like the Mickey Diamonds, like the Future Waves. Everything that Future Waves gonna drop is gonna be interesting for me. West Side Gun has been pretty silent lately, so I can wait to see what he can do next. That's pretty much it. You
guys mentioned a lot of it. It's not what's gonna come out that I'm excited for. It's what I want to hear. Okay, I want to hear a Vega 7 album all talking about wrestling.
You want that, huh? You've been calling up for a couple.
I just want a Vega 7. It probably won't happen. Just referencing wrestling. Give me 5 songs and I'll be happy. That's number 1. Number 2, I want a Jay Worthy and DJ Quick album.
Yes. Jay Worthy is dropping something now, huh? With who again? With Larry June. I think
another one.
I think they're gonna drop 2. Yeah, they were together.
Really?
Yep. Maybe we'll see. What else do you?
I'm actually super excited for the Raz Fresco and DJ Muggs.
It's gonna be a banger.
That's gonna be something great. Yeah, I want to be surprised. I just really want to be surprised because yes,
there was one that you and I had talked about that I know we both were hoping would happen.
Go say it. I can't remember.
Method Man and Big Ghost.
Oh,
oof. That would be.
Tell me how crazy that would be if in the third quarter this year. But I shouldn't say shit like that because then the motherfucker will do it and everybody will go, "Oh, look, you're Big Ghost. I'm not fucking Big Ghost." But I know there's a connection there. I know Method Man was wearing a Big Ghost hockey jersey in Madison Square Garden at a sporting event, and they made him change it because they were going to put him on TV.
Mhm.
And so they made him cover it up or something. I don't know.
That's
But he's definitely familiar with Big Ghost. It's got to be coming. It's got to be coming.
if
Yeah.
the if that would happen, I wouldn't even want features on there. I would just want Method Man and Big Ghost, and it would just sound like Judgment Day esque.
Okay, I got one better. Give me a Method Man versus Mickey Diamond on Big Ghost Beats.
Oh, yo. Are we talking dream matches or what?
Man,
That would
Give
be
me
amazing.
those two going like 4-bar,
Sick.
4-bar, 4-bar back and forth.
Yeah.
On you could give me 100 of those tracks and I would
Mhm.
not stop. I wouldn't eat until the record was done.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that would be sick. I
the
think
our
most
bra-
likely you would do it with Conway. You would do it with the Griselda guys.
I don't know. He's a fan of Mickey. He's
He's a
shouted him
fan.
out
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. He did. But I think he would go more for a Conway type of.
Method Man
Mickey,
listens
yeah.
to this style of hip hop.
Mhm.
He was on the Rome streets. Malenko, you remember when he was on the Rome streets? I called you screaming on the
Yeah.
phone,
Yeah.
saying, "What the fuck is going on? In which vortex am I in?" Hearing Rome
Yeah.
streets and Method Man together, it
Again.
almost made no sense to me.
Yeah.
So, like, to Carl's point, with Mickey Diamond would be ridiculous. Just him and Big Ghost. Like, please, just give me that. Maybe give me one or two features here and there of somebody Big Ghost has worked with, and it would just be brilliant.
Oh, it would be sick.
Uh, any big things of the year so far that's attracted you? Any big shenanigans or whatnot?
I I don't know about shenanigans. I know right now the big topic is 1,000 Words and Mama Word's passing away, and there's a big fundraiser for him. But 1,000 Words puts on these extreme verbal art shows. He's put several of them on. Yeah. Yep. And he's somebody that just contributes so much to the community, and to the artists, that I think he should always be celebrated. And then there was a big Charged Up Fest in Richmond, Virginia, and that's actually where the Danielson umbrella thing got cooked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They had been featuring on each other's albums for a long time,
Mhm.
but it was in North Carolina, South Carolina, in Myrtle Beach. There was a show out there at a tattoo parlor, and they were just celebrating their 1 year anniversary. And Joel, the guy that owns the tattoo shop, really big into underground hip hop, had Al Divino, had Uncle John, had Danielson, Pro Dillinger, Snotty, put them all up in Airbnbs. Maze Overlay, bunch of really great rappers were down there. And that's when Danielson and Pro and Snotty first, I think, linked up in person.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And the group of them had a ridiculously fun time down there. And I think as they started doing more and more shows together, because they were popping up at Danielson's been at all the shows where Pro and Snotty and Mickey and everybody have been playing. That camaraderie just kind of built. So I think that Charged Up Fest was really good for hip hop because it was a huge event, basketball tournament, concerts. The way Noah, who runs the event, put so much into the merch, into every aspect of what went down there. I think it's probably one of the largest scale underground hip hop events that
wow.
I've heard of.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the videos
That's
for that.
big.
That would have been great to go to.
And they had a lot of different styles of rap there. I mean, it wasn't just, boom bap rappers.
Mhm.
But
Oh, I saw
you
the
know,
list, I think.
yeah, it was crazy.
Did you go?
No, I didn't get to go.
There, these underground shows, these whatever you want to call it, I
I was
find
at
it.
that South Carolina show though.
And how was it? Great.
Oh, it was amazing. There was like 40 people there.
That's amazing.
Sick.
The one
Yeah,
I went to Philly. Uh,
I was handing out Heinekens from under my jacket. It was great.
it's amazing.
Every time Maze Overlay turned around, I had another cold Heineken for him. I was like, "Here you go." He was like, "Oh shit."
Another one.
That's amazing. And they're so important, these shows, and they're so fun. And whether there's 40 people or 100 people or 200 people, it's just so like when I went to Philly for the first ever concert that Ricky and a Thousand Words put out,
Hmm.
the atmosphere was just like that's my highlight. The atmosphere being there and just being able to just have conversations with the fans, have conversations with the artists, just that communication link, and everybody was just hanging out, having a good time. And it was like there needs to be more of this. There
Mhm.
needs to be more of this, and there is more happening, and I got to be able to get myself to more of them. Malenko, you got to come.
Yep.
uh and just I find it just so important because again, we don't get that much in Canada, whether it's border issues, whether it's promoters or whatnot. But we need to be able to travel to go there because there is that community and it brings people together. Just look at what we've been doing with our podcasts, right, man? Just look at the link of communication and the respect that we have for each other. This culture, this underground, this abyss is building into something beautiful. And I'm being honest when I say that
Hmm.
because I've been listening to hip hop for a very long time. And the artists I've met now versus who I've met previous or people who I've communicated with, it's day and night, day and night. And the effort that Thousand Words Ricky put in, getting Mickey, getting Pro and Snotty, getting Mondo because he's been on some Bub Styles, all these guys, and just seeing this evolve and seeing this happen is just so like it's weird to say it this way, but it's I love seeing it. I
Hmm. We're a
love
part
the
of something very special right now.
it's
Yep.
crazy and just seeing your brand with Luki and Primo grow and the respect that you guys get and what you guys are doing for these artists and what they're doing for you guys, it's like a win-win, right? It's
Yep.
just it's amazing to see because you're giving them the platform that others might not give them, right? There's podcasting everywhere, everybody's podcasting, let's be honest with each other, but you guys are really giving them the time of day. Okay, you like and vice versa, but like so many people are tapping in and give and you see these reviews all the time, you see people show up, but you guys are really doing it different and that's what stands out.
Yep.
And going with the shows, the same thing, the investment, there is something beautiful happening right now, we're all part of it. Okay, and it's amazing to see happen. That is just great. I'm just saying it like that, as cheesy and cheeseball as it is. It's the god awful truth. It's something beautiful that's happening that we don't really see.
There's a selfishness to it, and I'm okay with saying that. So, we were very specific in what we wanted to do
Mhm.
with our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, how do I put this? We don't we don't podcast bang on anybody
Mm-hmm.
because it's still bringing attention.
Mm-hmm.
And our whole point of doing this, I was lucky enough to have Lukey open a door for me
Mhm.
to show me all of this amazing hip hop that I was missing.
Yeah.
So, for me, I was a hip hop head, as a kid and growing up. And then I hit my mid 20s. I started playing drums at 28. I didn't know I could play drums, and I sunk myself into researching a lot of heavy metal stuff that I never really listened to,
Mhm.
try to learn. And hip hop at that point was drastically different. It was commercialized. It was P. Diddy era. It was, and I just wasn't really into it. And so I wasn't listening to hip hop. And other than Doom, I really wasn't familiar with anything that was going on in the scene. I didn't know about rock. I didn't know about West Side Gun. I didn't know about, Rome Streets or Danielson or any of these people. And when I found out about Lukey's podcast through meeting him, it the joy I got out of going through 68 episodes of his podcast and finding out about Vic Spencer and finding out about Conway and all of these different artists, Knowledge the Pirate, and it was ridiculous. And I want to be able to give that to somebody else.
Yes.
So, our platform is basically, come on, promote if you want to promote. If you just want to hang out and talk, hang out and talk. The best thing we can give the audience is a better understanding of who you are as a person. And if we can do that through a casual conversation that's sometimes goofy, sometimes really serious, it's going to go where it goes. We have a zero plan when we start the recording. As you can tell, sometimes our intros are not very they're very lackluster. Just because we're down to talk. We actually have a rule when we get into the Zoom, no one's allowed to say anything until I hit record.
Oh, sick.
Because you're going to miss something. We're going to miss conversation that would be great for the podcast. It happens every time we say something before hitting record, it's a moment lost. And so we try to coordinate it that we don't let the guest in until all three of us are in there. And as soon as the guest comes in, I hit that record button because there's going to be a gem dropped. And so we don't podcast bang on anybody, because if you're somebody that interviews and that's all you do and you've got a set list of questions, awesome. You're still bringing fans into what we love. And what that's going to get is them supported, which means they're going to make more music, which means I get more dope shit to listen to.
Yep.
So the selfishness is, everybody, but there should be 100 podcasts on underground hip hop.
Yes.
And if each of them gets 1,000 fans, then awesome. That's, 100,000 fans.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. There aren't a lot of them that I watch regularly, but I tap into yours every week.
Thank you.
Even the wrestling ones, and I don't watch wrestling anymore. I used to.
Thank you.
But I find the chemistry that you guys and Trap have are fantastic, and that's why I tap in constantly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it means a lot. And it means a lot. And I'm learning a lot from your podcast. I'll fucking be honest with you right here. And like, we learn a lot, man. Like, we tap in. I tap in. I tap in. And it's because I'm a fan of all three of yous and what you bring to the table. And I've said it before. I love it when it's just you three, because there's that chemistry. There's that atmosphere.
We get a little silly.
Right? By the way, you make smoking cool again. So thank you very much.
I can't help it.
I have a pack of menthols. As soon as we're done, I'm going to smoke those menthols. But like, again, I'm a fan of what you guys do. I'm a fan of the artists you bring on. I'm invested. It's so, what you guys are doing, whether you like it or not, is very important for me as a fan, but also for the culture of the underground hip hop. The point blank, period. Primo, yourself, Lukey, and Lukey gave me my first interview. Like, he gave me that opportunity. I was terrible at it, but just the energy he brought and us being able to have a conversation. After I was done, I went upstairs and I just sat there and I was like, wow, this was fucking phenomenal. Like, he gave me that opportunity. You guys, what you guys do, man, what you guys bring to the fucking table is amazing. And I'll be honest here, and I'm not just saying it because it's you, Karl, because we built a friendship over this, but man, it's fucking important. Continue doing it. We appreciate you for doing this. We appreciate Primo. We appreciate Lukey. The Abyss podcast is something that's needed continuously. So just continue it, and thank you for that.
So I will say this. The reason I know that we won't have a problem continuing to do this is because the artists really fuck with us. And I say that in the sense that after every episode that we do, I set up a group chat on IG. And it's where I'm going to share the clips that I've cut so that the artist can see the clips before I start posting them. They're going to see the artwork that I do, and then see the artwork that Dave does just before the episode comes out.
Shouts out to
And
Dave.
yeah, shout out to Dave
They're sick.
Proch.
Yeah.
And so, we set that group up solely for that purpose. Most of them are still in use.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
And
That's amazing.
like just out of the blue, Squeegee Oblong will send us an Instagram reel about
fun.
something that we talked about on the podcast or what have you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Sick.
it's so a lot of those, like, and when we have return guests, that group, instead of saying issue whatever the Abyss Podcast as the group convo title, it'll then have multiple numbers.
Sick.
That's amazing.
Issue 47, 53, 97, the Abyss Podcast. So it's cool that I get to kind of go back in and see those guests that have kind of returned. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we do it because we love it. So
since
Same
you have
for
those
us.
since you have those group chats, can you find everything I want from the artists and the albums I want, can you go in the group chat, say that Steven wants this, make it fucking happen? I appreciate that, Karl. Thank you very much.
I got you. Just send me a list.
Wonderful. And that Method Man Big Ghost, that's the most important one. So we need to make that happen.
I don't have a group chat with Meth yet. Yet.
Yes.
So-
Yeah.
I'm determined he's going to come on the podcast at some point.
Fuck.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
That's gonna be
For
crazy.
sure.
Before we get up out of here, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, and Malenko is gonna complain that he has a lot to edit. When we have the guest, we do the top 5 in 5 seconds.
Oh God.
Okay. I told you I was gonna do this.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're gonna do it with you. All right. Karl, I need your top 5 favorite metal bands.
Okay. It's going to be Mastodon, Gojira, Therapy, Queens of the Stone Age, and that 5th spot is always the tough one. Tool.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Your top 5 favorite drummers of all time.
Oof.
Danny Carey, Stuart Copeland from the Police. Danny Carey's from Tool.
Sick.
Neil Peart
Mm.
from Rush. Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
And
Fuck Dave Grohl, man. He's
Bron
incredible.
Daler. Bron Daler's the drummer from Mastodon.
We had this conversation about Dave Grohl and how he did the drums for Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, Songs for the Deaf.
Yeah, but he also came back on Like Clockwork,
Hmm.
and you could hear the sound, how it's so different from everything else. When Dave Grohl is there, the drums, that sound of the drums is just incredible.
You know what's crazy though is Rated R had great drums on it.
Yeah.
I love that album, but yeah, there's just something unique about the way Dave approaches putting together his beats, and he's so creative in it. Just yeah, I mean, he's ridiculous.
The last one is funny because you used to watch it, but your top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
Top 5
Oh, you run out of battery.
Run out of battery?
No, it's back.
No.
No, we don't hear you anymore.
M-
Oh,
hello?
it's back.
Yes,
my
you're
headset
there.
cut off on me. That's weird.
It's okay.
Yeah, top 5. So I'm gonna go Rowdy Piper,
Wow.
Macho Man, because he made me laugh so much. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. You know what? I'm going famous rappers, but I should have included ECW wrestlers like Sabu, the Sandman, Terry Funk,
Fuck that.
Cactus Jack, Mankind, whatever you want to call him, Mick Foley. Yeah, there he is. His book was fantastic too.
Yes.
Funny.
Mike Awesome from ECW was sick too.
RVD.
Scorpio.
Oh,
Scorpio.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, the best. Wow.
Whenever I played WrestleMania 2000, I would always make my character a tag team partner for RVD.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so by the end of the year, you need to get back into wrestling.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I started another band.
Yes.
So on top of my already busy schedule, I've started a new metal band.
Yes.
And then made things more ridiculous. I'm trying in the next month to learn 8 songs from a band my guitar player also plays in. Their drummer broke his arm and they have a gig on July 13th.
Wow.
So I get to play a gig. I haven't played a gig in 5 years, almost 6 years.
Wow.
We want videos. Your wife's gonna be there to film?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get some video.
Yeah,
good.
It's amazing to be able to have conversations, whether we're having conversations about wrestling or about hip hop, just people that love music, love music. Like, it's just like, that's why I had those questions, because I seriously want to know who the fuck your top 5 metal artists were, so I could go listen to them now.
If you've never heard of Gojira,
yes,
they're a French metal band. They're insane.
Heavy.
Mastodon's from Atlanta here. They're stoner metal, kind of sludge metal-ish.
All really drum-centric bands, like all big drummers like Rush, Tool. I mean, all big. Yeah. And the Police drummer is sick as well.
He's probably the best. Stuart Copeland, probably one of the best drummers ever. He had a project called Purple Onion.
Okay.
With Les Claypool from Primus.
Oof. Wow. Oh, yeah, the Primus. Oh, I think I heard of that too. Yeah.
Was it that or was it the Oyster? I don't know. It was one of them. I'll send you a link to it. But the drumming on it is insane. Yeah.
He was drumming, going crazy. He's standing up, drumming, just kicking everything. Yeah, I love that.
And honorable mention Phil Collins, because I think Phil Collins was the guy that made me want to play drums. I would watch him. I would watch concert footage of him as a kid and air drum in front of the TV.
Oh, wow.
And I got to see him perform. I got to see Genesis do a concert out in California, and he has a drummer that tours with him, and they had circle drum kits, like the whole kit went around you.
Yeah.
So you had to move stuff to get in there.
Wow.
And they were opposite, so one left-handed, one right-handed, and they did these drum solos and an overhead cam. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You're left-handed.
Yes.
Like my son. People say they're smarter. You guys are smarter.
I mean, I'm smarter.
That's amazing. Malenko, before we get up out of here, you have anything you want to add, say?
Oh, no. I think you guys said it all, man. It's the same thing that I wanted to say to you guys about the Abyss podcast. Keep you doing the job, and like we all we need to be all together in this and just push and talk about it. I do this with Steven. It's not for money. We're not pushing sponsors on you guys. Never. We didn't even look for sponsors. I'm just like to record here and talk about music. And
I'm not gonna say never, but
yeah,
if someone wants to pay us for this, I'll take it. But that's not why we're doing it, for sure.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and to your point, I've watched so much wrestling in my life that I said to myself, I'm like, fuck, why don't I just do a podcast and talk about wrestling? And if people want to hear it, they can. And if they don't, well, it is what it is.
The great thing about podcasts, and they're there forever.
Exactly.
For sure.
Karl, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for doing this with us.
Karl. Thank you, man.
I'm super honored.
I appreciate you very much. I appreciate Primo. I appreciate Luki. We got to get Luki's album on CD and vinyl.
I know.
Luki, we got to
know.
do something. Let's make a chat. I want that product. He made a great album this year. It's something I go back to.
I was listening to that today. I was listening to that. in the
Right?
car.
I'm working on some merch
Yeah.
for it.
Okay,
sick.
that's amazing. Luki, whatever you want, let's do it. I want it on CD. Bars Over BS, Copenhagen Crates, get fucking with it. This needs to be a product that we're able to own in our hands, okay? Because he did a great job with it. Okay, so Karl, we're gonna bust his balls about it. Pause on that one.
Awesome.
But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and like. We bring you nothing but the best in hip hop and wrestling, all combined in one. If you haven't already, okay, and you're a fan of us, please, the Abyss Podcast. Very important. You follow, you subscribe, you do whatever you need to do to get out there and listen to the Abyss Podcast, because they are doing great things with the platform they have.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see each other very soon. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe and like. Peace.
I thought it was suck it.
Yeah, we could do that too. Thank you.
Peace.